Hi there, and welcome to Story of a Startup. I'm Kasim, your host, and I'm joined to you by Laura, the owner of Little Black Outfit, who's going to tell you about her journey and her exciting baby brand. So let's get into it. Hi.
Hiya, thank you for having me. I'm Laura, and I'm owner of Little Black Outfit, aka LBO. I launched the brand in 2020, and we specialise in black clothing for babies, which isn't something that you often see. And we range from newborn right up to 2 years. It's kind of something unique, something different, but also as a mum, like a very practical colour. Yeah. We're just coming up to the second year, and it's going really well.
So the first question I'll probably have is what made you start this brand? Like, 'cause a lot of people, they can kind of think about starting brands, but actually doing it is a different thing. So what made you actually take the initiative and go, you know what, I'm actually going to do it?
Of course, yeah. So I launched Little Black Outfit. Obviously, so we had our first baby. Prior to that, I'd bought the odd few baby shower gifts and things like that, but I'd never really paid attention to what baby fashion there was out there, because obviously I didn't have my own. And then I had my little girl, and even prior to that, we were out shopping, and it was just something that I noticed. I was like, there's cream, there's grey, there's orange, pink, but every colour of the rainbow, but there was never anything in black. I wear black quite a lot. As adults, we do tend to wear it quite a lot, and it's a neutral colour, so it just seemed a bit strange. And then she came along, it was all very exciting, and then it was, it felt like every time we were going shopping, I was like a magpie to something black, just because you'd never find it or see it. So I'd go into a shop and be like, nothing special, just a pair of like black leggings, and I'd be like, quick, grab them, like they're black, get it. So that's kind of like where I started noticing there was a gap. That's when I thought, you know what it is? There's something missing here. Yeah. So I did some research. I've never ran a business before, so it was all very new to me. I had a bit of savings. It was in the height of lockdown, and I was like, do you know what? There's genuinely a big gap in the market for a clothing brand for babies that specialises in black, because I just couldn't find it anywhere. You would find the odd few things when it was winter. Obviously, black appears a bit more, but it was, any other season it was gone. And the same, you could Google black baby grow, but everything that would come up would be like gothic or Guns N' Roses on it or something like that. So again, it just, there wasn't just anything simple. That's when I kind of like set upon myself that I was going to create my first business. And it all just kind of like stemmed from there, really. And then more researching, figuring out how I was going to do it.
So, like I just said at the start, a lot of people kind of think about starting a business and they go, okay, we're going to start an e-coms business, and some people do it small and they decide to buy in or whatever. So what were the steps you took to kind of do your research and actually then go into development?
Yeah, so first of all, it was kind of like, there was so many clothing brands out there. I was like, well, this is going to be easy. Yeah. It was like t-shirt brands left, right, and center. Like clearly, everybody's doing it, or it seemed really attainable. Didn't seem like it was going to be too difficult. Obviously, I can do this. After some like more research, I was like, right. So, am I gonna buy clothes that are already made, have them shipped to me, and then just put my own label in it? Or am I going to find a manufacturer and create my own individual designs? So that was like the first step. What am I going to do? A lot of stuff comes from China. Obviously, at this moment in time, sustainability is a big thing, and I was like, right, like I've got a USP of black clothing for babies. And I also want to try and incorporate sustainability. And that also helped whittle down what I was going to do for my business process and the plan. So kind of buying in from China was out the door, and I was like, right, manufacturing and in the UK, how can I make this happen? Kind of went through the Google list of manufacturing companies, trying to get hold of people. And to be honest, I won't lie, it was really difficult. Kind of phone numbers that didn't ever get answered, or emails that just seemed a bit cryptic. And it was like, it, in a strange way, like this hidden world of manufacturing, that it was just these like kind of shuttered down factories that you never really seemed to be able to get in contact with anybody. Finally stumbled across a small independent manufacturer, female-owned business, and I just got in touch with her. We had a Skype Zoom. She got the business and the idea straight away, and she just kind of put me at ease, especially for my first business. Because the products were going to be the main thing, and the contact with the manufacturer, like, I wanted that to be right, because I think I needed a bit of, guidance and just somebody who was going to be on the journey with me. So found my manufacturer. She is based in Linthwaite, which is kind of Huddersfield way, which is local as well, which was perfect. And just kind of told her what I want to do, and that's where it kind of like the ball started rolling, really, and getting into how we were going to create the items. Okay.
So, I completely understand about the whole manufacturing thing, because when we start looking into it, obviously a lot of people say like manufacturing is in Leicester, for example.
Yeah.
And then when we tried to help some of our creators build brands, the first thing I did was go to Leicester and I Googled it. It's just naturally. And you're right, it is really cryptic. It's not like some of these websites look really old and not up to date, and you're like, these can't be making these clothes for like these big companies. There's no way. But when you actually go into the world and you dig into it, you actually see that they're actually there and they exist and they actually do make all these stuff. But I think they don't update their websites or phone numbers because they're so busy, and I never realized how busy these people are until I saw it with my own eyes, and I was like, oh my God, they're like constant, like just producing. So obviously you then found your product and you've built your brand. What was the kind of process of like getting the logo, getting the brand right?
So kind of, after the manufacturer, it was, right, okay, what am I going to be called? And how am I going to design all of that? So it was kind of like Canva, got on there, created myself a logo, thought of the name, fairly simple. I liked the fact that I could break it down. Obviously, there's the terminology of LBD, which is little black dress for the women out there. So, and I was like, let's have a little play on that. And that's where Little Black Outfit was born, so LBO. And then, it was just trying to, I guess my social media was going to be my platform at the time, because that was going to drive engagement, create the hype, hopefully get some customers. So I set upon myself to launch the Instagram on the side, developing the website. I was kind of wearing every hat under the sun with my business, as I'm sure many people know. When you're starting out, it was like, I'm social media, I'm website designer, I'm designer. Like it was everything. And with my social media, other than having my own personal Instagram page, like, I don't know about hashtags, like, and the importance of it, or the timing of when to post, or the algorithms, all of that, like, and to be honest, I still don't know massively. It's such a learning curve, and especially now there's so many other media platforms as well to try and contend with. So at this stage, because obviously I was developing the products, I didn't have them to show yet, but I didn't want to have the products and then launch my Instagram and be like, got all this stock and then there's no one on it. So the importance of kind of just like getting people engaged in the brand first. So reached out to kind of like parenting, family influencers. I think I did like an LBO question time with like a fairly well-known family influencer, just to like get some engagement. And I don't know, was sharing blogs on weaning tips and just anything to drive people to the page, and that's where it kind of like started, and that was throughout like the summer, and then in the December was when I was able to launch the first collection.
Nice. So you've obviously about to launch. Nervous?
Very, very nervous, because in your head you think, well, you've got to believe in it. I was like, I'm gonna sell out. You know, it was a scary time, because you just think, this is it now. I'm gonna see whether it's gonna work. And I remember I did loads of promo up to in the lead up to it, and then it was kind of like, website's now live, and obviously you press the big red button, like live, and then an hour went past. Another hour went past, and then I heard the little ring of the notification on my phone to say I'd got a sale. And honestly, I was jumping around like a lunatic. I couldn't believe that I'd got a sale. And then that's when it all just like, I was like, right, this is legit now. Like, I'm really gonna have to push it. And so that period, especially around Christmas time, I tried to target around that time, because one, obviously people's spending is up because it's Christmas, and two, because of how darker clothes are perceived in the winter. I was like, it's a good time to launch because people will be seeing more black clothing. Thought it would probably be for a new brand doing black clothing in summer for babies, it probably would have been a bit like unsure. But December, obviously, it worked really well. So yeah, that was kind of like, right, all stations go, and just kept pushing it after that.
So obviously you've got your first, hopefully, few sales at this point. Then what's kind of the next step? So a lot of people kind of like, from my experience, they get that, they go, ooh, I'm making money. But then what's the reality of it like afterwards? So you obviously, what did you do with the money that you made? And then did you start spending it, thinking it's extra cash? Or how did you kind of like go about it for running your business?
So everything that I've made online in terms of sales right up until this day goes back into the business. Like, I've not taken any of it of profit. None of it's like, wage for myself or anything like that. It's just until it gets to the stage where I can, really invest in the brand, invest in the team, to push it to the next level. Everything just gets churned back inside. And I think I set myself up to know from the beginning that's what was going to happen. And I know that there are some overnight successes, but again, I know that the brand is something special. I know it's going to be something special and big, but I know I'm in it for the long game. And I have found sometimes that maybe some people aren't in it for the long game, and that's where things struggle, because they're not seeing results quick enough, or you've invested all this money and, what if it doesn't, it's a risk, isn't it? What if it doesn't make it? Or, and I think that's when I guess a lot of businesses maybe don't continue in their after the first year or the second year, because people just can't understand that everything just needs to kind of go back into the business. So after that kind of initial launch, I was like, right, I need to keep the momentum up. So everything was going into Facebook ads, Instagram ads. I already set up to start launching the next collection, because I knew, again, creating new things, bring new customers. So I tried to stay on top of that. So creating a new range to bring out spring, summer. And then also at this point, I'd only really been taking photographs of my daughter in the clothes, and creating content on my phone. So I invested, and I did kind of a big photo shoot to kind of set the bar in terms of making it look professional. Got a lot of behind the scenes footage, and really just focused on building the quality of the brand outside of the clothes.
I suppose this is the question just for out of curiosity, because obviously there is backlash to everything that happens. When I had Mr. Lapel, we had comments from X, Y, and Z. Do you ever get anything about it being called Little Black Outfit, being a black owner, having a black child model? Does anybody see it as just meant to be for a brand for ethnicity, or do you get people kind of realize it's a brand for all? Yeah.
So, and I genuinely never looked at it that way until it was brought to my attention, really. and it was from, literally a handful of people. Don't know who they are. And I put up a post. To be fair, it's happened, I'd say 3 times out of its like lifespan over the course of the 2 years, and it was a Facebook post, and I put it out there, and I'd got my little girl on some of the pictures, and to be fair, I did actually have a white child on there, but I guess they chose to either ignore that or and it was like little black outfit, launch new baby brand, and suddenly I woke up the next morning, and like my Facebook said it was like 15 notifications. I was like, oh my gosh. So I had a look, and there was just this running commentary of this one person's comment of, say, they wrote racist ? And I was like, racist? And my heart, like, obviously I care a lot. I don't want to offend anybody, but my heart started, going. I was like, oh my gosh, like I said to my partner, I was like, what's going on? And they were basically, I guess, trying to suggest that the brand was being uninclusive because it was called Little Black Outfit, and the majority of the models were of like black ethnicity, which meant that I was apparently segregating, I guess, other ethnicities from wearing the brand, which I'd never looked at it in that way. It's not advertised in that way. Obviously, as a startup business, you utilize what's around you, and my daughter is what I utilize because, like obviously paying for models, things like that. She fits in the clothes. Like, she was the reason why the brand started. The brand is selling black clothes, so obviously the name black was going to be in there. And there was just, I was quite shocked around the negative connotations that some people got from the brand. There was a lot of positive comments, which was really nice and reassuring. To be honest, that's what made me realize that actually the negative comments were just maybe from like smaller minded people that just wanted to see it in that light when it really wasn't. But that was a challenge, because at first I just felt really exposed and like I'd done something wrong, and I was like, everyone's gonna hate the brand, and should I call it something else? And then I was like, no, because that's not what it is. Like, the white company, for example, they sell baby clothes. They've got white models wearing the baby clothes that are white baby grows, like, but no backlash has ever happened from that. So, but that was an eye opener for sure.
Did you take it more personally because it was your daughter?
Yeah, well, you did. Defense mode. I was like, what do you mean? And I was like, this is my beautiful daughter, and like this is a brand I've created, and up until that point all I'd heard was like such positive things, and I know that at some stage, like regardless what you're doing, there's going to be like challenges and things like that to contend with, and I think I am quite thick-skinned in that way, but I did feel very vulnerable just because I genuinely want it to be something special. And that was a bit of...
Did it change your approach and how you went forward, like your marketing and your photography? Did you think to yourself, okay, now I need to start including, I don't know, white children? Or did you just think, okay, this is the brand, this is the way I believe it should go? And like, did you adapt?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, making sure the brand was diverse was always going to be something that I wanted to do. Like, I'm of mixed heritage, like my daughter's now of mixed heritage, like, so it was always going to be about this brand is for everybody. Obviously in the early stages it was only using the content that I had, and that was just of my daughter. So as it's grown, I've got all sorts of backgrounds, wearing the brand. The Instagram is full of it, and of mixed babies looking absolutely amazing in LBO, and I just to avoid any kind of, I don't know how to describe it, any other like negativity, I just went through my whole website in like with a fine-tooth comb to make sure that like there was nothing that could be maybe taken in the wrong way or worded maybe in a way that might seem as though it's only for black babies. But other than that, I was like, no, this is the brand, and you either love it or hate it. And since then, everybody's loved it.
I mean, I kind of get it as well, because when I had a brand called Mr. Lapel, like you said, you utilize what's around you. I use myself as a model. I use my family as a model, my friends, and we're all of ethnic origin. And I remember somebody mentioned something like that as well. They were like, "Oh, is this a coloured brand?" And I was like, "What?" I was so confused. I was like, "What are you on about?" I was like, "Unless you're paying for my models, it is going to be, because that's all I've got. It's how I start." And then I actually went through a phase where I didn't show my face. I just showed like certain angles of me. But then a part of me was like, why am I doing that? Like, it shouldn't be the case. I should be proud of who I am. I should be proud of the brand that we're making. And then eventually then we obviously then had some more budget to mix it up a little bit. But I completely get that part. It's hard. And you do really take it personally, especially when it was myself. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? So obviously you've got your brand, you started selling. And when was the point where you kind of felt like this is something serious now, where you kind of think, okay, it's actually going somewhere? Because obviously selling a few little bits, and some of it sometimes is your friends and family. But when did you actually think, okay, this is?
So I was luckily enough able to do a pop-up shop in John Lewis. I did that in the summer of 2021, and that was where it really like made me think, this is gonna be something, because like in the build up to it, I'd had some press coverage, and to think in like less than a year from something being just like an idea to creating my own business to being in a major UK real store, it was a bit like, wow, like I can't believe that I've managed to do this. Like, what? I'm in John Lewis. Like, this isn't just me being on a market stall. And that's one thing, another kind of area that I always I was quite clear on. You know, I'm not a crafty person. This wasn't going to be an Etsy brand. And I've got nothing Gates brands on Etsy. That just wasn't going to be me. I wanted it to be in the Selfridges, the flannel, you know, like to be something of that level. So when there was obviously loads of opportunities, I think, that I could have like tapped into in terms of like, local markets, or go into like parent and toddler things and like having a little stall. But, you know, I wanted to avoid that and set precedent from the beginning. No, this is going to be a lot bigger. So when I got into John Lewis and I had that name behind me, straight away I was like, right, okay, like this is what I said it was going to be. And then kind of seeing the items in the store, and then also being an online brand, like I guess you've experienced, you'll only ever get the feedback from the reviews that people want to leave. So being in store was amazing, because I finally got to hear like first-hand feedback from people. So it was like funny, we were located at the bottom of the escalator in John Lewis, and so we had like the pop-up banners which has got like images and stuff on, and there'd be so many people that would kind of like double take and be like, is that black clothing for babies? And like some people were so confused. And then you'd see them go up, and then you'd see them come back down because they wanted to like come check it out. And it is eye-catching. And a lot of people said, actually, until they see it, they don't realise that there isn't black clothing or much of it out there. So I think for us, actually being on the high street and being in a physical retail store drives a lot more sales personally, because unless you've heard of Little Black Outfit, or unless you're Googling black baby grow, you're not necessarily going to come across it. And I don't think many people, well, obviously I did, but many people do Google looking for black clothing for babies. So, but then when it's presented in front of you in the high street in a store, and you can see what it looks like on a baby, then straight away sales, because they're like, oh, it's so practical, or it does look really nice. And that was a big week for us. And after that, I came off like in such a high. I was like, right, we need to do the next one. But yeah, that was like a moment where I believed in it anyway, but I was like, if it can be in a store like this, it's going places.
Okay, so you've been to John Lewis, and obviously you've had the success there. How were sales during that time?
Sales were the best that we'd had, to be honest. Like, obviously we'd started just as a e-commerce online, and obviously like as a startup, we'd only been running like 6 months.
Yep.
I wasn't sure whether, I mean, to me, even if I got 2 sales in 6 months, like that's amazing, because it's a brand no one's heard of.
Yeah.
People like it enough to want to purchase. So all the sales that I'd had up to date, I was like super happy with as an online business. And then when I went into store, some of the stuff sold out. Like, not gonna lie, like I felt personally like I'd smashed it. I was like, yeah, like we did so well, yeah, during that time.
And you've had some celebrity / influencer attention. So how did you get in? So who are the people that you had, and how did you kind of get them to be on board and promote you?
So, I mean, as you guys know, like celebrity influencer marketing is very important, but as a small business, you're just one of probably 1,000 people that email them or their management or try to get in their DMs like every single day. So I've tried to be really clever with a lot of the stuff that I've done, just because I know that there's so much competition. I've tried to always, again, target people who I think would either wear the brand or like would actually like it, because again, as a small business owner, I don't just have thousands of items of stock to be able to just be like dishing out. Like, so every item that I gave away, it was a bit like, oh, because that was a sale, like it was money going back in. So it's not like I wanted to just be frivolous with it. So we've had Rochelle Humes was my first one, and I sent her some stuff, and with her I knew from the beginning actually that I thought she would be amazing, just because I thought like her audience would also really like it. She's a trendy mom. She obviously posts her kids quite a bit, so I knew that hopefully if she got it, we'd get some good content. So prior to that, I'd reached out to her manager at the time, obviously sent a couple of like DMs to Rochelle, whether they were received or not, who knows. Reached out to her manager, nothing. Like, I probably emailed her about 3 or 4 times, because you can't give up, like you've just got to keep going. Nothing. And then I am just going to send a package to this address. Who knows if it's going to get there? Who knows if she'll even receive it, like it, wear it, whatever. But I was going to do it anyway, because I've got, like, why not? So I did that, sent it, and it must have been about 6 weeks later. I was putting my daughter in the bath, and then I just looked at my phone. My battery had 1% as well, by the way. So this was like intense, like, quick, put it on charge, like, what's going on? And it said, Rochelle Humes has commented in a post that you're tagged in. And I was like, tagged in? So I literally went on, and honestly, I screamed. Her little boy Blake was in the full LBO outfit. He had a bib, our rib dungarees. Herself and her husband Marvin had gone out on like a shopping trip. They were stood outside Selfridges, of all places as well, which is where I really want LBO to be. There was about 4 pictures, and she tagged me. And I was just like, I can't believe it. I was so grateful. Just because, like, obviously it wasn't a paid ad. She didn't have to do it. And clearly they'd gone on like a proper like trip out where I guess they could be photographed or anything. So she liked it enough to want it. You know, it's not like she just put him in the house in it to like go to bed or something. It was a proper outfit, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. So that was like, big time. And then since then we've had Jason Derulo's baby, Jason King Derulo, and Jenna Frooms. So they've had some stuff. So that's really exposed us in the US again. So that's what I tried to get across in like the brand and stuff. any celebrity baby that you see wearing LBO, they're wearing it because they like it.
Yep.
I haven't paid for them to wear it. I haven't paid for them to tag me, anything like that. So it just really reiterates the quality of the brand, because these people, they can afford, like if they want to put them in a Gucci bib or something, they'll put them in a Gucci bib because they can afford it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're putting them in these items must mean that they genuinely really like it. So yeah, that side has been really successful for me. So to date, actually, in terms of paid influencer ads, I haven't done any. Which is like, yes, because who as a startup has like £1,000 or something like that to spend on someone giving you like a paid post? You don't know what the engagement's going to be. So yeah, they've been really, really special. And we've had Towie stars, Connor Ben the boxer, and Victoria Ben, their little boy Eli, Olympic athletes. Like, yeah, I've had quite a few, so I'm very, very proud of that.
Amazing. So obviously with influencers, increasing sales, or did it help?
So since then, once I kind of like knew that Rochelle liked the stuff, I brought out a winter range, and I sent her some more stuff. And she kindly did another post of him wearing something in our winter range. It sold out. So yeah, it clearly works. You know, when people see it on these celebrities, and I think that's another what I try to get across in our brand. Like, these are celebrity status items, but they're affordable and attainable for the average customer. Like, they don't click on her post and then go to the item and then like, oh, it's £150. Like, I can't afford that. Like, everything is high street prices. Like, I know how hard it is, like, especially with babies, they grow out of things so quickly. You know, you need things to be affordable, which is what we are, hopefully.
Cool. Okay, so let's talk about a bit more personal life now. So obviously you are a mother.
Yes.
And you have now a business. How do you find the balance between being a mother and trying to have a startup business?
It's hard. Juggling. I think it's hard juggling without all of those things to contend with. But both me and my partner do have our own businesses. So together we kind of are on the same page of where we are with trying to push it, really. Any spare time I have, I'm constantly trying to, you know, do stuff with LBO, but also make sure, obviously, I've got time for my daughter. Like, obviously, she's going to come first, and hopefully all this will be, you know, she's going to reap the benefits. But yeah, no, it is tricky, and sometimes, you know, I think, oh, maybe shall I just give it a rest, or like, so that I can go and just have more hours or more time with her. But ultimately, I just believe in it so much that I just try and balance it where I can. Do a lot of stuff at night. So there's long nights, because obviously when she's in bed, and then it's just any spare minute. And like I said, I wear many hats, so it's kind of like content in the day, packing orders at night, taking her to nursery, dropping orders at the post office, so, and then everything in between. Have a lot of support from family and friends, which is all amazing. But yeah, I just have to do it. There's no getting round of it, you know, that this is life at the moment. And if I really truly want to make it work, then I've just got to dedicate as much time to it as possible.
Do you ever find yourself thinking about work whilst you're with her?
Oh yeah, literally. I'll be like in the car, like picking her up from nursery, and I'm thinking about LBO. I'll take her for a walk and I'm thinking about LBO. Like, it's on my mind 24/7, like, because again, it's your passion. Like, I believe in it, and if I wasn't like that, I probably would be like, oh well, maybe I will sack it off. But you know, like, I'm always thinking about it. I am present. I feel like I do give her as much attention, you know, as I can. And you know, obviously Monday to Friday, like, well, she's at nursery, so I don't get loads of time with her. So on a weekend where I've got that extra time. Like I really value it, and try to do as much as possible with her. But yeah, there are oftentimes I'm like drifting. Or luckily now that she's grown out of the clothes, she's older than 2 now, so she doesn't spend her weekends modeling for me as well. But she gets it, and it's cute because she'll be like, "Oh look, it's little black outfit," or obviously she doesn't really understand it, but it's nice to know that like she does get it a little bit.
And then what about like spending time with, because that's a full-time job in itself. You've got obviously your LBO, daughter and partner, and then obviously spending time with them. Only reason I know is because it's the same for me. I've got 2 kids, this business, obviously a wife as well. So you kind of like, where do you put your time? And it's really hard because like some clients of mine want to speak to me in the evening. We've got global clients sometimes as well, so they want to speak to me late in the evening. Then it's kind of like, then I know consciously that she wants some time from me, because it's not just about the kids. They will go to sleep. It's like, okay, now let's watch a movie. But then whilst we're watching the movie, in my mind I'm thinking about work, and it's a lot. It
is, but I think thankfully, because both of us are trying to really push our businesses, might sound sad, but when we are sat watching a movie on a Saturday night, he is on his laptop and I am on my laptop, and that's just how it is, and we both understand that. Obviously there are like, we've had a family holiday this year and things like that. We're really, really present. Like we don't tend to do too much work then, and I guess if we're like going out for a meal or something like that, but when we're at home, genuinely it's work, but we're both under the mindset that at some point like it will flip, and you know, we're going to have our own team and we can maybe step back slightly, even though it's probably not going to happen because you want to be even more involved and the more successful it gets. But yeah, I think it would be a lot harder if either I didn't have my own business or he didn't have his own business, and we were both craving attention from the other person while they've got all this stuff on. But thankfully, because we are both doing our own thing, it kind of works, to be honest.
No, I get that. I completely understand that. So obviously you're kind of at the stage where you're at now. What's next?
What is next? So I think I've never really had a strategy. So the first year was obviously just, can I create a brand? Can I create a business? Creating the clothes and just, guess, solidifying the brand. And then from then, this year is a bit more strategic, like pushing more from the business element. So, you know, like I've set up my LinkedIn page. I'm like going to more events where I can pitch, or speaking to like investors, exposing the brand more on a professional level, on the business side rather than on the commercial side. Obviously that's still really important, trying to like kind of, you know, push the sales and things like that, but this year has really been more about like, how can I position this more strategically to push the business. So we've got some other opportunities in the pipeline with pop-up shops, so that's exciting. Hopefully in London, another big one, fingers crossed, on Oxford Street. And then, yeah, I'm just literally scouring the internet all day, every day for opportunities for small businesses. I'm excited because I'm a finalist out of however many applications across the UK for a National Startup Award, which is really exciting, in June. And all of this, I think, another really important element I found, obviously, of being a small business is networking. You know, like stuff like this, or being at the business event, or, you know, all it takes is for you to speak to the right person at that right time, and you never know what connections they've got, and your business could get the big investment you need, and that's it, and you're off. Look, you know, I started this business with a small amount of savings. To date, I've not had any business loans, I've not had any investment, everything has been self-funded, but I know that can only take me so far. And to take LBO to the next level is going to take some investment. and to really push it to where I know it can go. So that's my main focus for this year. I'm able to, obviously, now that I've had the year of sales, I've shown, I guess, what the brand could do in a retail store. I've got data. I've got my social media following. I can say that celebrities have worn it. These are the items, X, Y, Z. Like, so it's kind of all there now. So now it's kind of like trying to find the right person who wants to help me take it. Yeah.
Might see you in Dragon's Den.
Oh no, I don't think I could do that, to be honest. But yeah, that's the plan for this year.
Cool. So I guess the kind of final kind of statement, I guess, for yourself is, what would you say to like women out there or mothers out there who don't feel like they can do it because, one, they haven't got the time, they don't have the self-belief? What would your kind of message be to them?
Go for it. Honestly, you'll never know unless you try. If somebody have said to me when I was sat at home Googling manufacturers, or, you know, when I first thought of the idea, that in less than a year, Jason Derulo's baby, Rochelle Humes' baby, I would have been in John Lewis, I've been in magazines, I've sold out on items. If you'd have told me all that was going to happen, I would never have believed you.
Yeah.
Because you just don't at the time. But if I'd have not started, then I never would have had all of that. And I'm not saying that all happens in the first 2 years. It might take 6 months. It might take 6 years. Who knows? But I'm a true believer in, if you don't try, you'll never know. So you'd rather have maybe tried. It was really hard. Maybe it didn't work out, but you know that you did try, rather than, I don't know, maybe sat at home one day and somebody had thought of another LBO idea and I was like, I thought of that idea, why did I never do it? And, you know, because I'm sure everybody has similar ideas, but it's the person who's going to pursue it. It's the person who's gonna you know, try it. It's not easy. Like I said when we spoke before about like being a mother and juggling and all of that stuff, it is hard, so you've got to prepare yourself. But yeah, if you believe in something enough, like, hopefully it'll all work out.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.